Politico has an interesting article about how Democrats are not facing any primaries, which is news to me because I'm pretty sure there's at least 15 primaries coming. I'm going to tell you about that in a second. First, let me introduce the article, the very poorly researched article for you guys. They write, Democrats have long been terrified that the Sanders-Clinton slugfest of 2016 would set off a prolonged civil war in the party, forcing incumbents to fight off primary challengers from the left in Senate and gubernatorial races. It hasn't happened. Really? So later in the article, there's an oblique references to groups that rose up to do primary challenges, but he just erased it from history that they're not happening. So now the reality is they are happening. Let me show you the candidates. These are 16 Justice Democratic candidates. Ro Khanna near the middle there is an incumbent. Everyone else is now running in races. And yes, some of them are running against Republicans and are in an open seat, and there are no other Democrats in there. And if a Democratic establishment figure comes in, and I guess they don't believe in unity, right? Some of them are running against Republicans, and there's plenty of other Democrats in the race. And some are running against incumbents. Cori Bush in Missouri is running against Clay. You've got Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez running against a very important incumbent, Joe Crowley in New York. Paul Swearengin on the lower right, running against Joe Manchin. So I don't know if the writers of Politico don't possess a computer. It's called the internet. You might want to Google it. And I'll tell you why they actually ignored these primaries in a second. And the number one excuse they usually give is money. If you don't raise money, you're not a serious candidate. So first of all, that's a horrible metric because you aid and abet corruption that way, and you encourage people who have received more legalized bribes, okay? Oh, wow, a lot of big corporations gave you money, millions of dollars. Then you're a legitimate candidate. The unions gave you millions of dollars, then you're a legitimate candidate. Okay, so if someone bought you off, you're a legitimate candidate. But what if we raise money from small donors? Yeah, but you can't raise a lot. Really? Because the Justice Democrats, now that's the progressive, strong wing of the Democratic Party. Yes, it's new, so again, the guys in the Washington bubble might be like, oh my God, something's new. We only like things that are old and part of the establishment. But you might want to look into it. Well, to be fair, how much of those candidates raised and the Justice Democratic Party? $3 million. And you know who we got it from? We got it from you guys. Here, do it again, justicedemocrats.com/win. justicedemocrats.com/win. Small donors so that the Justice Democrats work for you guys and they're uncorrupted. But Politico and Washington, they're uncomfortable with that. You can even tell it in the small ways. I'm going to show you the bigger ways too, but in the small ways in the article. So Gabrielle Debenedetti, who wrote this article, sorry for your horrible pronunciation of your name, says, Democrats have largely been spared of that predicament, referring to primaries. Look at the assumption there. Primaries are bad, it's a predicament for the Democratic Party. Well, how do you know it's a bad thing for the Democratic Party? The Republicans primary the hell out of each other, and all they do is win. They won the House, they won the Senate, they won the White House. They had 17 people in a primary on the Republican side. The Democrats were like, don't ever primary Hillary Clinton, she's the anointed one. How'd that turn out? It turns out 17 people in a primary led to a win. It didn't lead to a loss. Turns out primarying Republicans led to more and more wins. How many houses have they lost now in the state level? They've lost over 1,000 seats the Democrats have at the state level. So why is it a predicament to primary people? Because your assumption is people in power are awesome and they should always maintain their power. You don't know that that's your assumption, but it is. Further little tidbits here. Another part of the article. Messy Democratic primaries are still expected in several House districts. See, primaries aren't productive and helpful and get you to a better candidate in an important part of democracy. They're messy. They're messy. You don't want primaries. Okay, well, we can strike a deal. How about we just take whoever's the most popular Democrat in the country now, and in 2020, you all promise, both the Democratic establishment and Politico and all the writers in Washington, and you all promise to say primaries are a bad thing, they're messy, they're a predicament, and we definitely shouldn't have them. Oh, who's the leading Democrat in the country now? Who's the most popular guy? Oh, right, Bernie Sanders. Do we have a deal? Primaries are bad and messy, right? Oh, we don't have a deal, do we? you're gonna run a whole heap of people to make sure Bernie Sanders doesn't get that nomination. Okay, so let's just understand that you're liars and all you care about is protecting power. Let's just understand that, okay? So we believe in primaries. Yes, of course Bernie Sanders should be in a primary, and yes, other people should run against him. You know why? We're not afraid of the challenge. We have winning ideas. We don't have losing ideas like the corporate Democrats who are like, oh, I got a great idea. As Barney Frank once told one of our reporters, you want the Republicans to take 100% of the bank money? We should take 20% and they should take 80%. What a genius idea, corporate Democrat. A perpetual losing strategy. So no, I can't wait for that mess if you think that's a mess in terms of primaries. We are consistent, you are not. So now let's go more to the heart of the story. They write, most filing deadlines are still months away, and so insurgents who aren't currently on the radar could still launch late challenges. On whose radar? They're right there. They raise all that money, they're gonna raise more money. They've got all these volunteers. We just did a poll in West Virginia. Joe Manchin's underwater, he's at 46%. How many times have I read articles about if an incumbent is under 50%, that's a really bad sign. But if it's about one of their beloved establishment guys, I don't see it, I see it, I don't see it, I don't hear it. What poll? No, what candidate? There's a candidate against them? Paula Jean Swearengin did a Reddit, it was one of the most popular Reddits in history. I don't see it, no, popular support. Puh. Did she raise any good corporate money? She hasn't raised corporate money, no, not legitimate, not legitimate. They go on. Meanwhile, liberal challenges to Senators Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Claire McCaskill of Missouri have so far failed to gain traction. Failed to gain traction with who? With you. Why did they fail to gain traction with you? Because you think if you take corporate money, you're awesome and you're winning. How did that work out for Hillary Clinton? How has it worked out for the entire Democratic Party? But if you don't take corporate money, you fail to gain traction. I'm gonna write not only am I gonna write a piece, in essence, crapping on you, but I'm gonna crap on you so hard that I'm not even gonna mention your name because God forbid I should give you any publicity. I wanna smother you and make sure there's no oxygen in the room for any change because I love Washington. Now the guys who write these stories and their editors, they don't know that they love Washington. They live in Washington, almost all of them. All their friends are Democrats and some Republicans and lobbyists and consultants, and they live in that bubble. They don't know it. I swear to you, they're not bad guys, they don't know it. They think, well, incumbents are fantastic. Power is awesome. Corporate money is the one metric we should use. It's in their heads, it's in their heads. They don't even know it's in their heads. More quotes. None of the many Democratic senators running in liberal states in 2018, such as Delaware's Tom Carper, Maryland's Ben Cardin, Minnesota's Amy Klobuchar, Rhode Island's Sheldon Whitehouse, or Washington's Maria Cantwell, have seen any reason to sweat their own positions. Now, finally, we get to something that's true. That's true, and this is basically rubbing your face in it. See, these incumbents, Democratic incumbents in really blue states, they don't have to worry about any of their positions. They can take the corporate money and do whatever they want, and they can still please their donors because you didn't primary them. But actually you are, you're primarying some of them, but it doesn't count. I'm not gonna mention it. It's so sorry. And listen to what they're saying there. If you want them to change their positions or actually hold progressive positions, why is it that in red states, Republicans get to elect monsters like Roy Moore, the most right-wing guys imaginable and some not imaginable? And in the bluest of states, no, don't challenge corporate Democrats. My God, they might have to take popular positions then. Okay, final quote. But on the other side, with so much of the party's grassroots money flowing to anti-Trump efforts and candidates, there's so far no organized effort to funnel campaign cash or political support to potential Democratic challengers. Or there is, but either I didn't want to bother looking it up, or I looked it up and I thought, I don't care. Let me help my incumbent establishment friends by pretending they don't exist. Guys, there's only one way to prove them wrong, because they're never, ever gonna give anybody credit. Progressives, no way. Look, the reality is that mainstream media has enormous disdain for progressives. No matter what you do, how much money you raise, how many volunteers you have, any other kind of metric, it doesn't matter. They have disdain for you. The right wing, oh my God, they call us right wing. They say we have liberal bias, right wing, we bow down to you. Establishment, oh, they got nothing but love for them. But when it comes to progressives, they can't stand you. So there's only one way to show them, beat them. We're not gonna have any goddamn beer summits, okay? We go run those primaries, go to justicedemocrats.com/win right now, okay? Volunteer, donate, do whatever you gotta do. Find your favorite candidates, give to all of them, give to some of them, do whatever you think is necessary. Don't let these establishment guys keep running this party into oblivion. This is how they lost to Trump. This is how they lost all those seats. Don't let them make that mistake again. The country is deeply progressive. You run on those positions, you run uncorrupted, and you win. Let's go out there and show them what we got. Watch the Young Turks commercial free, download it or stream it. Watch it any way you like at tytnetwork.com/join.